Let's talk a little bit about some things that are going on in the news. Jen Psaki's taken a lot of heat because of what she said on the podcast Pod Save America, which is hosted by a number of former Obama administration officials who she used to work with. Here's a soundbite that got her in trouble.
Do you remember the 4 boxes that we had on all the TVs, right? Which is on my TV right now. So right now, just to give you a sense, so CNN, Pentagon, as many as 8,500 U.S. troops on heightened alert. Okay, true. Same on MSNBC. CNBC is doing their own thing about the market. And then on Fox is Jeanine Pirro talking about soft on crime consequences. I mean, what does that even mean, right? So there's an alternate universe on some coverage. What's scary about it is a lot of people watch that.
Yes, they do, because we have news you don't get on other channels.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the fact that she said that it's scary that a lot of people watch that, and not that it's scary that there is record crime across the country, is a big problem, which is why Jackie Heinrich, she was at the White House press briefing yesterday. She asked Jen Psaki about her comments, if she'd like to clarify them, and take a listen to her response.
Were you speaking in your personal opinion, or is that at all a reflection of the priorities of this administration? Because the criticism is that it would reflect that crime is not a priority of this administration.
This is what I was talking about in the interview for the full context. In the American Rescue Plan, there was additional funding to support local cops programs, something that every single Republican voted against. If those facts are uncomfortable, I'm sorry for people who feel they need to be critical, but the president has been a longtime advocate of addressing crime. He's never been for defunding the police. And the other fact that is never talked about in these Fox packages, maybe in this one, is the fact that gun crime is a major driver of crime across the country.
Yeah, people with the guns and actually shoot the guns. The guns that sit on the table aren't usually the problem. 81% of the country say crime is something they're very concerned about, and higher rates is something that consumes them. If you look at San Francisco and almost every major city, the crime rates are up in almost every single category. And if you look at the rescue plan, the $1.9 trillion has a small portion for cities to do what they want with it. And even if it said, put it to your cops, you don't make someone digest a $1.9 trillion package because of 350,000. And guess who gets that? The police. And the Fraternal Order of Police Presidents, Patrick Yost, spoke up yesterday, and here's what he said. I think it's wrong, very wrong, for Psaki to suggest that violent crime in our country is of no concern or is just to laugh it off. She may feel safe in the White House, one of the most protected buildings in the United States, but not everyone feels safe in their workplace. The world we find ourselves in is dangerous, and increasingly more so. Tens of thousands of people have been victims of crime this month alone, and some of them never made it back home. Pretending violent crimes are part of some other reality will not help victims. Ms. Psaki owes them an apology. And if you think about the turnout for Friday's funeral, where I've never seen anything like it, most people haven't, drones couldn't even cover it, you would think the President of the United States say, maybe it's time to put off that trip to Pittsburgh for infrastructure, which I never even had a formal signing for because I was embarrassed by, and I held the bipartisan bill for 3 months. Maybe I should have flown possibly to St. Patrick's Cathedral, or met with some police leaders, or actually come down on the DAs that are allowing crime to run rampant. In fact, they ran on that in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, as well as New York.
Well, what's curious about Jen Psaki's soundbite right there is there was a whopper in there, something that she's been called out on by the Washington Post fact checker. She got 3 Pinocchios for exactly what she just said. If you listen to her, she said, there was additional funding for the local cops in the American Rescue Plan. $350 billion, she said, that was there for the local police. The Washington Post fact checker gave her 3 Pinocchios because, even though she said that that money was earmarked for a variety of budget plugging purposes, there's no guarantee the police would get a slice of that pie. But that's what the administration has been doing. They've been going, look, every Republican voted against the part that would have funded the cops. So we're for refunding the cops. Remember when she went through all of that? Well, the Washington Post called her on it, and she repeated it yesterday.
Yeah, and I think this was a really bad moment for her. Whether you like what she says or not, she usually does a good job of at least not causing controversy for the Biden administration. And that's exactly what she did yesterday. And at a time when crime is at an all-time high, I don't think that criticizing a network's coverage of the issue is really a hill you want to die on. But Democrats have such an issue with talking about this because this is a crisis of their own making. And that's why when you see liberal media outlets cover this, they blame the gun or they blame the car for driving into the group of people because they can't blame the criminal.